Yo, what's up, world? This is J, and today I'm going to talk about something very near and dear to my heart. It is one of my favorite topics in the world, South Park. And today's video is going to explain why, in my opinion, South Park is the greatest cartoon of all time. Now, before you start hating, throwing other cartoon shows out there like The Simpsons or Tom and Jerry or Ren and Stimpy or Rugrats or Family Guy. I love most of those shows except Family Guy. But you know, South Park is just very near and dear to me, and I'm going to explain why. So here we go. I could talk about South Park for hours, but I'm going to try to keep this relatively short. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share if you'd like. That would be great. Thank you very much. So, first reason why I like South Park so much is because the vulgarity of it all. I'm a very vulgar guy. I like crude humor. It's very sarcastic, witty, really clever at times. You know, and just so much stuff is funny because they're kids and they're talking about like all this crazy stuff, you know, and cursing, and you know, for the time when it came out in 99, 97. Was it 97? Yeah, 97. It was very groundbreaking, and like it was like one of those things that like you weren't supposed to watch, but you had to. And the only way I was able to watch it was on like VHS. Remember VHS? Yeah, that's how long ago it was. One of my friends would get it, or you know, I'd rent it from Blockbuster or something. But so yeah, they're gonna be starting season 22, I believe, this year. If it's not 22, it's 23, but I'm pretty sure it's 22. That's another reason why I like it. It's been on for so long. It's like classic. It's still current. It's up to date. There's always more stuff for them to talk about. But let's get into it a little deeper here. So first of all, I love the characters, the main characters: Kenny, Stan, Kyle, Cartman, Butters. They're great. Cartman, you know, is just an asshole. So prejudiced and so racist, but he's so funny. At the same time, you hate to love him and you love to hate him at the same time. But I think with Kid Rock there, it's, you know, are you scared? Just the whole show is good. You know, they always get into crazy scenarios. I love the musical parts of it. You know, when they'll break out into a song like the one episode where they went to the water park, Pee-Pee's Playhouse. Cartman starts singing Minorities in my water park, and that was just hysterical. Or you know, in one of the latest seasons, Stan talks about bullying in school, so he makes this whole song about bullying killing itself, and it's this whole musical number, and it's just really good. You know, I feel like every time they do one of those musical numbers in their episodes, it's super clever, and they always throw in like little nice like instruments to like make it feel like, you know, they're really trying. Like in Minorities in my water park, there's like one part where there's like a slight break between words and you hear a violin being like you know, and it just makes it feel like, you know, real classy, I guess. And you know, another reason why I think South Park's one of the greatest cartoons of all time is because they just really don't care. They're willing to break every boundary and line and, you know, do it so unapologetically that you have to respect it. You know, like, how could you not? I mean, for all the scrutiny they've gotten and to last this long, it's kind of crazy. You know, they've gone after religion and, you know, everything. It's like you can't really name something that they haven't gone after except, like, really insulting The Simpsons, you know, which you can't do. They mentioned them in an episode, you know, Simpsons did it. Everything Butters went to do, The Simpsons already did in an episode, but that wasn't really like an insult. That's just saying The Simpsons have been around for so long that, you know, it's hard not to do something that they've already done. You know, and another reason why I really like South Park and why I think it's one of the greatest cartoons of all time is while it's fucked up and it's vulgar and it's crude and it's sarcastic and, you know, gross at times, at the end of the episode there's usually some kind of good meaning that you can take away from it, you know, whether it's a political meaning or a societal meaning or, you know, even just something stupid like I don't even know, I can't think of anything right now, but there's usually like some kind of meaning behind it.
Band kits set up and then they start fucking playing.
And you know, it just kind of gives you something to think about, and it just, you know, it might put it in a real crazy messed up way, but at the end of the day it's like that's the point. And you know, think about it.
I mean,
you know, like
sure, you could say fuck everything and okay, now it's a match ring.
I don't know.
I guess we're all in the dark. The match, but
one of my favorite all-time parts in South Park is when you know, it's like it might even be the very first episode or something. Cartman, you know, tells his mom, Kitty's being a dildo, and his mom looks at him and she's like, well, I know a special kitty who's sleeping with mommy tonight. And it's like, you know, when I was a kid, like, I didn't get it, but now every time I hear it, I die laughing because it's like, that's so messed up, but it's so funny, you know, because, like, she's so cheerful about it. And, it's really good. Now, let's get into a couple of my favorite episodes of South Park. There's so many, it's going to be so hard to think of them, but I'm going to try my best. So first and foremost, I really enjoy the episode with Kanye West, where they make the joke about fish sticks, and the joke is, do you like fish sticks? And the person will be like, yeah, and they'll be like, you like fish sticks in your mouth? And they're like, yeah, I like fish sticks. And they're like, oh, well, what are you, a gay fish? And you know, this joke blows up and it's all over the news and it's the funniest joke of all time. And, you know, the only person in the world that doesn't get it is Kanye West, because he's so egotistical and, you know, so full of himself that he just can't understand the joke that he's not a gay fish. Like, he tries so hard to prove he's not a gay fish. He makes a word association chart and everything. And, you know, Carlos Mencia ends up saying that he made the joke up because, you know, Carlos Mencia is famous for stealing jokes. And Kanye ends up having him killed. And, you know, at the end of the episode, Kanye West ends up admitting that he's a gay fish, because he just still doesn't understand the joke, that, you know, it's just a joke. And so, you know, he ends up becoming a gay fish. And there's this whole song at the end about Kanye being a gay fish, and, you know, it's one of the best songs I've ever heard, period. Like, I downloaded it and burned it onto a CD, and I'll bump it in my car every now and then, just for shits and giggles. So that's one of my favorite episodes. Another one, of course, is the first episode ever where Cartman gets an anal probe. You know, Cartman's basically abducted by aliens, and he ends up getting an anal probe, and you know, at random times, a probe will just shoot out of his ass and shoot lightning, or not lightning, but shoot satellite waves up into the air, and you know, this is where, I think this is the episode where we first see Kyle say, "Ike kicked the baby," or yeah, where we say Kyle say, "Ike kicked the baby," and he, you know, kicks Ike like 50 feet across the road, and
I'll see you in New York.
you know, it ends up where the aliens coming back down and they just want to make peace, but you know, there's communication issues and whatever. And at one point in the episode, Cartman starts like singing this weird old song.
He'll be trying to pull the tarp off.
His cheeks get all rosy and he looks like a girl. It's real funny.
Did you see that?
Another one of my favorite episodes is
the Astros home opener. Let's reveal their world championship
the medicinal marijuana, or the medicinal fried chicken. KFC ends up getting banned in South Park and replaced with medical marijuana dispensaries. So KFC goes into the black market, and Cartman basically becomes the Al Pacino Scarface version of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and he ends up like in one of the parts he rips off the skin of the chicken and cuts up like a fat line and just like snorts it, and like just picturing it in my head is like ridiculously funny. And you know, it's banned, and one party buys it off this guy in a back alleyway, and you know, it's like a drug deal, and he opens up the container of gravy and he tests it, and he's like, "Are you trying to fuck me?" He's like, "This is Boston Market gravy," and the guy's like, "Oh, it's all the same." And Cartman pulls out a gun and he's like, "It's not all the same. It's not all the same." You know, like, and you know, it ends up where like, oh, and Stan's dad ends up giving himself testicular cancer just so he could get medical marijuana, and he's, you know, bounces on his balls like it's like one of those bounce and go balls when, you know, you were younger, and he gets all of his friends to get testicular cancer, and they all bounce on their balls around. And then, you know, it ends up where,
well, he was doing the spoiler that he would win it.
Without, you know, the doctor makes an association to, since Kentucky Fried Chicken left South Park, testicular cancer rates went up, so now there's medicinal Kentucky Fried Chicken because he thought it, you know, helped prevent testicular cancer, when in all reality they were just giving themselves cancer so they could get medical marijuana from their local dispensary, which I support, by the way. Local dispensaries, keep doing your thing, providing services for everybody. Back to South Park. Alright, so another one of my favorite episodes is
what you would be seeing.
It's in one of the more recent seasons. I don't know if it might be 17 or 18, maybe 16. The new iPad comes out and Cartman wants it, and you know, he's begging his mom, and she's like, "Oh, but honey, it's expensive, yada yada," and he's like, "Mom, why are you trying to fuck me in the store? Why are you trying to fuck me in the middle of Best Buy, Mom? I like it if you're gonna put lipstick on before you fuck me." And you know, like, the whole episode is kind of like that, where he just keeps saying stuff like that about his mom, and they end up going on Dr. Phil, and you know, he said his mom, you know, effed him in the middle of Best Buy with people watching, and Dr. Phil thinks, you know, she's molesting her son, and then she has to explain, like, he's just saying that because I wouldn't buy him an iPad, and that's a really good episode too. So now that I did a couple of my favorite episodes and a quick overview of why I think it's the greatest cartoon of all time, let's get into why I like the characters so much individually. I'll start with Cartman. I mentioned it before. He's so prejudiced and he's so outrageous and so narcissistically naive. Like, he thinks he's the shit and everybody should agree with him about that, even though he's just a complete piece of trash, really. But like I said, you love to hate him and you hate to love him, and that's how it's supposed to be, and it works really well. And
can't they just have had Roman has his fucking,
just some of the stuff he says, you know, like,
because he always gets
shut up, Kyle, you freaking Jew. Or in the South Park movie, he'd be like, suck my balls, Mr. Garrison. Or, you know, he came up with that song, Kyle's mom is a big fat bitch. Or, you know, minorities in my water park. Or,
see him get up and put Roman in F5.
You know, Cartman's just the man.
So it's almost like
Stan, I like Stan because he's like, and I feel like all these kids in South Park, you can kind of pick somebody in your real life that kind of reminds you of these kids. You know, it's like we all kind of know a Cartman, we all kind of know a Stan or a Kyle or a Butters or a Wendy or a, you know, whoever, a Mr. Mackey. Oh, Mr. Mackey.
He was fucking rolled out of the ring and fucking hunched over.
So Stan, I like Stan because he's kind of like.
So it was kind of like, all right, I got one fucking
the ground of the group, you know, like he tries to hold everybody together. Kyle does too, but Kyle kind of loses his wig a couple times. Stan's, you know, kind of the one that uses logic. He's usually one of the ones that learns something at the end of the day. And, you know, he's just trying to keep his friends in check. And his dad's awesome. Randy Marsh is great. Oh, that's another one of my favorite episodes, Cream Fraiche, where Randy tries to be a cafeteria chef, and every time he watches the Food Network, he, like, you know, might as well be masturbating to the food. So every time I get hungry and excited for food, I say I'm Randy Martian. Make that go famous. Hashtag Randy Martian. When you're hungry, you know, you're not hangry, like you need a Snickers, you're just like admiring the food that you're cooking. You're Randy Martian, you know. Happens to me often. But anyways, Randy's dad, or Stan's dad, Randy, is hysterical. I like the episode where he was like an alcoholic, and because the Virgin Mary statue was bleeding out of her vagina, he quit, but it ended up not being true, and you know, he wanted to go back drinking because, you know, it wasn't true that it was the Virgin Mary, he wasn't healed, and, you know, at the end of the day, the lesson was Stan taught him that he quit on his own if the statue wasn't real, and he had the power the whole time, and he just had to learn some discipline. Yeah, I said discipline, because that's how they say it in the episode, because Kung Fu Sensei taught Stan discipline, so Stan just told his dad he needed some discipline. He just needed to drink in moderation and not get drunk every day. He didn't need to go to AA to not be an alcoholic. He just had to not drink and get drunk every day, you know. So, you know, it kind of just meant, like, if you're an alcoholic out there, you have the power within yourself. You don't have to, you know, go to AA and give yourself up to this higher power and, you know, yada yada yada, because it's you the whole time in reality. So yeah, Kyle, I like Kyle because, you know, he's the
But if you think I'm gonna back down now,
he's like that. He's the Jew of the crowd. He, you know, he always gets busted on for that, but he's just like, you know, an innocent kid trying to make his way through life, trying to, you know, he always gets caught up in these crazy adventures with his friends and, you know, whatever. And, you know, he's kind of like Stan. He tries to hold them all together, but, you know, there's been a couple episodes where he's lost his mind and went to shoot up the school or blow up the school, or, you know, he got really big into spiritual books, and you know, at the end of one episode, he like disappeared into thin air, and his head started floating around like, I am one, and you are me, and we are everything. What if I don't exist, you know? And so that's Kyle. And then there's Butters. Butters is just that naive kid on the block. You could tell him anything and he'll believe it. Super gullible. Gets him in a lot of trouble sometimes. He has those overbearing parents that ground him for every stupid thing. Like one episode, they grounded him just for looking at them with a face. And he was like, but Mom, that's just my face. And she's like, don't talk back, you know, and he's just like, oh, I hate my face. And, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so sad. Like, you feel bad for the kid. That's another one of my favorite episodes, the episode dedicated to Butters. His mom tries to kill him, and, you know, all this crazy stuff happens, and, but you know, at the end of it, he comes back and he just wants to go to Bennigan's, and they end up going to Bennigan's, and everything's good. Like, he never even cared, you know, like, whatever. He's like a dog, like a puppy, you know what I mean? Like, just, you know, just always comes back. And
I'm here because you're a good dude.
At the end of that episode, actually, I like it because his parents get up on the podium and say, you know, his son was never stolen, or their son was never stolen by some Puerto Rican guy, like they claimed. You know, they tried to kill him, and you know, his dad was off at like gay hotels, and his mom went crazy when she found out and just tried to kill him, you know, in the river. And as they're saying it, they're like, you know, we should have told you the truth in the first place, because, you know, you'd see us in the grocery store, and you'd be like, oh, hey, Mrs. Scotch, how's it going, yada yada. But, you know, meanwhile, you'd be thinking, you murderers, you filthy murderers, you murdering murderers, admit it. You know, and every time they would say something like that, the, you know, like, camera from the show would point to, like, Sammy Sosa was there, or Mark McGuire, or O.J. Simpson, you know, and
so it's like, you know,
you know, it's just really funny because, you know, obviously O.J. Simpson murdered people and got away with it, you know.
It's live to tape. Right. So there's no editing, as you know.
Mr. Mackey, I love Mr. Mackey. He's the school counselor. Okay, and he's just kind of lost in the clouds. Like, he doesn't know what's going on. Like most school counselors, they're, you know, they think they're doing good, but they're not. Another good episode is where he ends up getting fired, and he ends up getting on drugs and takes acid, and you see his head floating around like it's a balloon. And he's just like, hey kids, okay. And you know,
CBS was cool about it, and they knew that.
And that's why you do it every day anyway.
In the episode where Hannibus chokes on Dick Do It, they have sex. That's hysterical. You see him take off his underwear, and it's like this big because he's like a twig. And then she takes off her underwear, and it's like, you know, because she's like humongous.
I do. Yes, I do.
That was good. But anyways, I feel like I'm kind of rambling on, but just because like I said, I can talk about South Park for hours. It's one of my favorite shows ever. But just to kind of do a quick sum up of why exactly it's my favorite show and why I think it's the greatest of all time is because while The Simpsons has been on for longer and has had a cultural impact, obviously, you know, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't know The Simpsons. Probably more people know The Simpsons than they do South Park.
Okay,
but I think
where we
South
have,
Park
like Veda
is
Scott,
better,
Veda,
in my
Veda,
opinion, the
and,
greatest, because they broke so
Peraza
many
and
boundaries.
also
Like,
Taylor Hendricks. So they
like
come
The
and do a
Simpsons,
rotating
yeah, they were
schedule.
kind of
It's gonna miss
vulgar
the
for their
past several
time,
weeks
like
with the media
making
stuff. We'll
jokes
get
that
back
weren't
on track.
necessarily,
These
that, you know,
girls
were
come on and
taboo
kind of
or
update
whatever, you know, like they weren't
on what's going on in the Indies.
your
I give
typical
them that
jokes
platform.
and stuff, like, you know,
everything that's going on.
they tackled
Correct.
some good
Correct,
issues.
correct. And so
South
people
Park
can hear
kind of
from somebody
took
else
that
within the Tash Show.
and just
So I like
cranked
Johnson
it up
from PW
to
Insider. He comes on
100
the show every week
and
gives like
said,
a,
you know,
kind of a scoops report
if
or like a. I'm not a reporter.
if one
I
thing isn't
I don't
okay to
consider
laugh
myself part
at,
of the
then
media of the
nothing
industry
is.
where
You know,
yourself
so
would
we
be.
can't
Because
keep
I did in
anything
the
off
game. You know,
limits.
I was
If we're
a
gonna
former champion
make
and a
fun of
broadcaster,
Jesus, we gotta make fun of
NFL
Allah
pregame show. I always
and,
think of it that way, like,
you know,
what I do
Moses
compared to
and
what
everybody.
you do,
If we're
Austin
gonna,
or Jericho or
you know,
like,
make fun
there's a
of
big difference.
one
People
celebrity, we
listen
gotta make
to-
fun of
if you're
every
watching
celebrity.
an
If we
NFL, like,
gotta,
listen to Joe Buck
you know, like,
and get something different
nothing
than
was
Troy
off
Aikman.
limits.
Absolutely.
They
You know what I
didn't
mean? Joe
care.
Buck has this analysis, but Troy Aikman has
And it
this
shows,
experience.
obviously.
It's just not-
Another reason why they're the greatest of all time is because
It's not-
the
You're in the pit.
animation,
You're in the huddle,
it's
you're in the
so
pit.
Yeah.
Now,
low
not necessarily
quality,
doesn't
but it's
mean
so
more, and
awesome.
I understand what you're saying, and I
Uh,
appreciate it.
that they're
It's
able
more
to
fun
do
for
it.
experience.
Yeah.
But you do
And,
need the Joe Bucks of the world. The
you know,
Steve
they
Rhodes of the
make
world
every
that are gonna give you a
episode
perspective
in
from
7
a strong
days.
fan perspective.
Like,
Oh, you agree with that? Oh,
An
yeah.
episode of The
We need Sam
Simpsons
Robinson. We
takes
really need Sam. Yeah.
That's why
weeks
perspective is key.
or
I'm
months.
just saying the wrestler perspective
They
is
do an
important.
episode
Yeah,
of
it's
South
just-
Park in 7 days.
What was your-
Like,
we
that
were
literally
talking on,
means they,
the
like, when the
series- on our
season
morning show
starts,
series today
they
about how
just
right
got
now,
done making
here's
that
how we've ever
episode.
been.
Yeah.
And they're
But
gonna
being
start
a
episode
wrestler,
2.
When were you
Then.
happiest? Was it when you were
Like, the next
the
day.
number one guy in ECW?
You know, like,
Was it when you show
like
up
that's
in
crazy.
WWE?
And granted,
Was it
it's
your
not
days?
like
Was it
super
before
high
that?
tech
When
animation, you know,
time
it's just
as
like,
an active sports
like
entertainer?
cardboard
I
and,
would
you know, a
say
lot of, you
I
know,
was probably most
computer
happy
animated
in
stuff
ECW, even though it was the toughest time for
to
me
write,
because
produce,
I really put a lot of pressure on
you
myself
know,
during
get
that
all
time,
the cardboard
and
cutouts and
I
everything
was
perfect,
getting a really strong
animate it
push.
right
And it
in
took me a lot of
7
years
days.
to get that push, and
is
once I got that
wild.
push, meaning before
Absolutely
it took
wild.
So once I got it,
And
I
like,
didn't want to lose it, and I got very
like think
at
about
times
that.
immature.
Think
I
about
had to
that.
handle the push.
Could you
And
write
I
a
kind of
show,
pushed everyone out of my
produce
world
it,
in that locker room,
animate
for the
it,
most part, and a couple of guys
and
that
get
I
it onto
started
a
and I was friends
disc
with. Everybody else, I
in
was
7
at times a
days,
little bit of a douche, and some people have said
and
that
have
about
it
me.
be
And one of the first things I did
anywhere
when I got
near
my show,
decent
yes, I got actually before the
quality
show,
and
podcast,
substance,
the Human Podcast Machine. I kind of apologized.
it'd be really
to
hard,
just the
you
whole
know,
roster
and they do it
of
all the
ECW
time.
just as a whole. Like,
And
I
that's
was a little
super,
short because I put a lot of pressure
super
on myself.
impressive.
So, as much as it was a great time
Super
in my
impressive.
career,
Yeah.
probably the best
Like,
as a wrestler, it was
Can't
tough.
say that
So
enough.
how do you
That's
go, if you
super
don't get along
impressive.
with guys,
Um,
how do you go?
Another reason why I like South Park so much is because,
it was way more physical.
like, their sense of humor is just my sense of humor. You know, sarcastic, witty, don't care.
I've seen guys in,
You know,
especially ECW,
nothing
get
is
fist
really
fights
off limits.
and go-
I
and
find
go out
humor
there
in
and then
terrible,
wrestle each other and
disgusting
protect each other,
things
and
that
it's
you really
totally
shouldn't
different.
find humor
It's
in,
total
but
divorce.
to me they're
You know,
hysterical.
I've had problems
You
with
know,
guys too, and then we go out there and do business. You know what I mean? I mean, really, we have.
You know,
I mean,
like,
so it's just a
I
part
just
of the
like
game.
all
You
that
can't break
stuff. I like it when they
Why
make
do you
fun of
isolate
Jesus.
yourself
I
from
like
that?
it when
Like,
they
how
make
does that
fun of
protect
religion. I
yourself?
like it when they, you know, make fun
want
of
anybody knowing anything
whatever they're
about
making
you.
fun of.
You just don't
No,
trust
I
it was a trust thing.
enjoy
It was
it.
my fault. It was a trust thing. I'm with you.
Another
Back
reason
then,
why I think it's
5,
great is
6,
because
you know,
it,
it was a lot younger.
you know,
Yeah, you know, I was
there's
more,
such a
you know, I
large
was
subject matter.
I was nervous.
You know, they're always up to
that
date
I'm
with
on
their
top of the
stuff.
mountain,
It's,
and I know people are
you
trying to
know,
pull
it's
me down,
almost
competitively,
always
not in a negative
something
way.
new.
And I don't want
Because they
to
want your spot.
Yeah.
Because they don't want you to have it.
You know, it's almost like
And
the
that's how it should
Saturday
be.
Night
That's
Live
why
of
we had a very
cartoons.
competitive locker room. Everybody
You know what I
thinks
mean?
ECW
Like,
is
it's,
you know, rainbows
you
and butterflies.
you
It was a
know,
great
like,
place, don't get me wrong,
as
but
long
it was
as
ultra
there's
competitive
life,
locker room. You know, and you gotta say
there
something,
will
a lot
be
of the guys,
South
they like to have
Park
a good time. It was
until
wild.
Matt
It was
Stone
a
and Trey
crack,
Parker
you know, field.
die,
But I
probably.
I kind of stayed to myself.
Like, I
and there was
don't
no
ever
knocking
see
anybody.
them
I
not
lived my
making
life,
South
and
Park
I wasn't, so maybe
until they're
someone
just
didn't trust
physically
me
not able
because
to,
I wasn't doing some of
which
the
will
things
probably
maybe some
be
of the
when
guys
they're
were doing.
dead.
And I don't begrudge anyone.
And hopefully then they have children or cousins or nieces and nephews or something that want to try to keep it going. If not, I'll gladly try to take on that role. Matt Stone and Trey Parker, if you ever see this, that'd be great. I'd gladly try to take on that role for you guys. You guys are awesome. You know, but so that's another reason why their sense of humor is just exactly like mine. You know, another reason why I like South Park is because
the money, and if you're not making 7 figures and you're making 6,
they just don't care.
Whatever the figure is,
you know, like
it's about being competitive.
They're
so
like
if I'm going out there, I'm trying to outperform Sabu. I'm trying to outperform Van Damme.
They're like the
Raven's
cartoon that was never supposed to make it, but made it. You know, like
Raven, Tommy,
you know, like so not mainstream that it became mainstream. You know,
that's what you want. That's how.
You know, you would see South Park signs in WWF crowds in the late '90s. And, you know, wrestlers were referencing them.
More than people, I think, talk about.
When did it start?
You know,
and there was no Puckfo shit, by the way.
It was real mainstream, but it wasn't supposed to be. But it was.
I can't say that about anyone.
And you know, the fact that it's still on today is just even crazy. And that's another reason why I like it. Longevity. You know, like, geez, you know, give the show some respect.
War games.
But just a locker room full of guys.
You know, there's so many reasons why I like South Park.
I mean, I'll tell you what, try and go follow a friggin' Van Damme match, okay?
Right.
It wasn't easy.
The writing of it, the jokes are funny. I think Matt Stone and Trey Parker are geniuses. I could probably do a whole nother recording of why I think they're geniuses comedically.
So many of us that had our own powers out there amongst the audience. No matter if it was a guy cutting an amazing promo or a Sandman with this crazy, awesome entrance that his entrance was so powerful.
I mean, South Park's just
or the mystique of
wild.
And how
you know, like, it's just such a good show, such a good cartoon, I should say.
From a physical standpoint,
you know, they've gone from 14 episodes to 10 episodes the last 2 seasons, and I think it's worked in their favor. You know, to not have to do so many episodes in a season, they could just do 10, focus on those 10 a little more, make them, you know, as good as they possibly can. And it's been working out. The last 2 seasons have been like some of the funniest seasons out of all 22.
I had to chill out.
You know,
because it wasn't what I was told. And
it's just good stuff. Good stuff.
I go, why? I'm not dangerous. Well, it looks like you're hurting people. Well, that's my job.
You know, like,
so you mean like the guy?
No, hold on. They're like, well, you're
I don't know.
6 foot. Okay,
I don't know.
Mike Tyson's
like,
not 6 foot. He's knocking.
South Park is just, in my opinion, the greatest cartoon of all time. Do you agree? Do you disagree? If you disagree, why? If you agree, why? Let me know. Let's talk about it. Like I said, I could talk about South Park for hours. I'm just by myself right now and kind of bored. You know what I mean? So let's have a discussion. Let's do it. Let's chop it up. Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. This has been RJ. Peace.